All right.
All
What is
right.
up? I'm here with Ray Garrison, otherwise known as is it Silos? Is that how you say it?
Yes, yes. I'm the singer in the band Silos.
All right. So just give me a little, what you're all about.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely all about music. I've been doing music for a pretty long time. I started in
Hmm.
high school, playing in bands. I've always been a frontman and written songs since about the time I got a guitar, and I was like 12, and I immediately as soon as I got it, I wanted to be able to record myself and listen to it.
Hmm.
I don't know, like it's just a weird thing. I want to be able to listen to myself. So I eventually found myself in this pro audio shop when I was like 15 or 16,
Hmm.
where all the like big. I grew up in Atlanta, so like it was where all the big producers like Butch Walker and I think like Jermaine Dupri, like all these big Atlanta producers got their gear. So I would always just go in and like ask them, what, like play them my demos and be like, what do I need? And then they're like, this is pretty cool. You just need a producer. So I paid these guys like WizKid Sound, shout out to them, like $200 a song back then to produce me, and they were super cool. Like
Hmm.
they gave me my first copy of like Melodyne, and I just sat next to them the whole time and like watched them work and ask questions, and they were willing to teach me. And like as I started being an artist, I was always learning to be a producer with the really intent of being able to produce myself.
Hmm.
And then my band in high school was called The Media Says. We were kind of like a power pop electronic band. And yeah, and then I worked with this guy, Matt Malpass, who now lives in
Hmm.
LA too. And we see each other all the time now, and it's pretty cool. He did some cool stuff, linking with Travis Barker, and went down a whole rabbit hole of projects with him. And
Hmm.
yeah, like my journey, my band that I was in high school and after broke up, and I still wanted to like make music, but it was really hard to keep a band together. So
Right.
I got into DJing for like a pretty significant amount of time, like multiple years.
Hmm.
And around the time of COVID, the club shut down, everything shut down,
Right.
at least here in California. And I don't know, when I wasn't when I wasn't in the club hearing that kind of music, like I didn't want to make it as much, and I found it more difficult. And I had just started working with some like kids from like Lil Peeps camp,
Hmm.
so that kind of bridged me into making like kind of like emo trap with like hints of electronic.
Right.
And then yeah, and then I just started doing like a little bit of vocals here and there, and then people wanted me to do more vocals, so I just did more vocals, and it eventually turned into me just being a solo rock artist. And then I worked with the band Crazy Town
Hmm.
and released a song with them called Leeches, and that kind of launched me in the rock industry pretty quickly. And pretty quickly found myself further in the rock industry than I got um, that further than when I spent years like trying to get to the same place in the EDM community. The
Yeah.
rock industry just kind of opened its arms up to me, and it worked out perfectly because like I loved returning, but with a much harder and darker sound than when I was in high school.
Okay.
Um, Mainly like learned from making all kinds of electronic music. I made every genre. So yeah, and then I got approached by my label Judge and Jury a little over a year ago.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I had just gotten my solo band for Ray Garrison together. One of my friends, David Raymond, at the time was drumming for the band Grandson. And before that, he played with like Sum 41 and Billy Ray Cyrus. I always thought he was
Okay.
like so cool. And I was like, oh man, it'd be so cool to do a project with him. But I was like, oh, he's always going to be too busy for me.
Right.
Well, he was on tour with Bring Me the Horizon, and I hit him up because I wanted to go get backstage passes. And that ended up not working out. But we ended up having a meeting after that because I wanted to show him my stuff. And then when he came over for the meeting, he was like, yeah, I just left Grandson. Let's start a band. And I was like, I thought about it for like a week or two. And then I
Yeah.
was like, cause like I just kind of like started getting traction as a solo artist, but I was like, like I would love to have him on board. And he's got a point. Like, it could be really cool to do this project, with a band instead of just like another solo artist. So that was last November. It hasn't even been a year yet since
Yeah.
Silos was born.
So, how'd the band name come about?
Cool story, actually.
Okay.
So random. So like I was laying in bed and like I was thinking, I was with my girlfriend at the time. I was imagining what our sound would sound
Mm-hmm.
like as the band. And like I was kind of in this like state of in between awake and asleep, you know, and like when you're in that kind
Right.
of like trippy other dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of like saw, I don't, it was just I had this like image. It was just us on stage, and there's like on the LED wall it just said the word silos. Like I'd never thought of that
Oh,
word. I like no, it was just like boom, it was just there in my head. And then I was like, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, what do you think of silos? She's like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then
yeah.
everyone I told since then has loved it, so that's how it happened.
All right. So how'd you decide to do the cover of "What I've Done" by Linkin Park,
um
which is
my,
fantastic, by the way?
oh, thank you. Yeah, that was simple. I live with my guitar player Nick in this
Okay.
house, and we got a vinyl player, and he's always getting like bringing new vinyls, and he was playing he got that album. I forgot the name of which album that is, the white one.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he's listening to it on vinyl, and it came on, and I hadn't heard it in like so long. I was like, oh my god, like, and like I've had people like, which is crazy to me. It's really cool, but like I've had multiple people like say, your voice kind of reminds me of Chester from like Linkin
Right.
Park, which is like the dopest compliment like you could ever get.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I heard that I heard that song come on, which I had heard all the time as a kid, and I was like, "Oh man, I would love to sing this like too," because I loved like the lyrics and like the whole vibe of it. Was just I was just like, "Oh, this resonates with me." So, um, yeah, I made it
All
within
right.
like days after hearing it on vinyl.
That's sweet. All right. So you just put out a new EP, right?
Yeah,
How's the reception been so far? People digging it?
yeah. I mean, the reception's been great. It's our first release minus the cover. We call it our first release because it's our first release of original music as Silos. And you know, for our first release, it's doing pretty well. I mean, like, I checked the EP as a whole is at like 40,000 streams, and it's been like a little over a week. Almost, it'll be like 2 weeks on
That's
Friday.
damn good, especially for
Yeah,
like a new band entering the scene.
yeah, it's not bad, you know. Like we didn't come right out the gate with like, boom, you're on like rock this playlist, and like here's your
Right.
career, you know. Like it wasn't like an instant thing, but the response we're getting from actual people is great. Like I know everyone in the band really believes in our music, and like we really think that like people need to hear this, and like
Mm.
it's you know, we think it's fresh and different, and like um and you know, it seems like we get that response back from people, like um people, yeah, people, we got like a fan page very quickly after we started our band. We
Mm.
posted a little clip of If I Fall, which is also on our EP,
Yeah.
of the demo like last December. And
Mm.
that was like the only like little clip of original music we had for like 6 months. And we were able to build a fan base around that, and then like
That's
the cover
crazy.
songs. Yeah. Between that and the flowers cover got us most of our social media following. And then, you know, like the What I've Done cover and the Play with Fire cover, which is by the Rolling Stones, like
Mm.
those didn't bring in a lot of fans, but the few people that brought in and our existing fans love those covers as well.
Nice.
But yeah, for us, like this, here's the little pro tip: is like the easiest way, like the way I learned how to build a following as fast as possible is to cover the most popular song, and then like market it, like put ads into it, and just like pump it like that, and then it's just boom, you're already going off something people are searching for, and you're
Mm.
just gonna get the best bang for your buck.
All right. We have a question here from my longtime viewer, Kyler. Have you ever strained your voice?
All the time, every show. I mean, like, yeah, like we have 10 songs that we just recorded and that are going to be on our full length album. And then last show we played Play with Fire and all 10 songs. So that was 11 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, like when it comes to making album 2, I'm going to have to like really be careful about the keys and the stuff, because the first album I was just like, ah, like every single song, and like live I'm like, fuck, like all right, we need a really long intro, like let's put a movie quote in here and stuff, like. So yeah, all the time. But I have taken vocal lessons, and I am working. I have techniques in
Mhm.
place to help minimize it. Definitely.
Let's see. You're getting some love from someone in Brazil, apparently. They're saying "Te amo."
Brazil, yeah. Brazil's been really huge and supportive. Our first fan page is from Brazil. It's
Oh, that's
Silos
cool.
Info Brazil. Yeah, I don't even know how they found us. If it was from If I Fall, or I think it was. I think it was before we even did a cover.
This person is saying that you are her brother-in-law, if I'm translating my Portuguese correctly.
Not technically.
Please save the live. Yeah, this live isn't going anywhere. I'm staying up. All right. So you said you've been making music for a long time. Like, have you always wanted to be a rock star, or did you
Yeah,
want to do something else for a while?
straight up, never. Even I literally in 7th grade, I was in my computer class, and like we went around the room and everyone said what they wanted to be. And I went to like a private school, and I literally said rock star, and everyone like kind of laughed. And even my teacher was like, ah, ha ha ha, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Your fan club people are saying they found you because of flowers.
Okay. Well, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So your first show that you ever did, either as Silos or I don't know if you did shows before that so much, but I'm like,
Definitely.
if you remember your first ever show, like what was going through your head when you stepped on stage?
Yeah, I did. My first show was in like the northern country of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was in somewhere around like Cumming or Dahlonega. It was this like small little like venue. It was like a teen hangout. And I think there was probably like 8 or 10 people. They had like bands. It's like a coffee shop kind of like venue thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know how I felt about it. Like I think it was just weird because I never really like performed my own music like in
Mm-hmm.
front of people before. So like, like it was just, I remember it feeling just like strange. Like it wasn't like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Like it took a few shows to get there, but very quickly I like improved quickly, like started
Mm-hmm.
working on my stage performance and like having energy and stuff. But it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was like horribly terrible, like,
Right.
but I just remember it being like, huh, like, okay, this is what it's like. Here's what like,
Were
what
you
should
like
I do
super
different?
nervous or?
I don't think I was as nervous as I would be if I was like having to do like a public speech or something. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
even today, I get more nervous about like the other parts about having a show, like if people are gonna show up, are they gonna
Mm-hmm.
stay, like like that, like ticket sales and like all the logistics. That stuff is like kind of more of the part that I get stressed out about. And then there's the part too where it's like, oh, am I like vocally am I gonna have a good day? Like,
Right.
sometimes in rehearsal I can go through the whole set like bang, no
Mm-hmm.
problem. And then sometimes I'm like, like, so like those are the kind of things I think about. But I think at the time, like I'm sure I was like a little bit nervous, but for me, I think it was also like, oh well, I have to do this. So like whatever.
Right.
Like, you know.
Rebecca, my Portuguese isn't great, but I'm fluent in Spanish, so
That's
I can
cool.
figure out what you said. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now as a creator?
I would say the biggest challenge for me is really like really adapting to like the new like social media TikTok world. Like I've been going for it, you know what I mean? Like I sat idle on it for years and I
Mm-hmm.
just hurt no one but myself. But now I'm going for it. But like, I just it just takes so much time and like thinking to like, because for me, I always want everything to be like really cool or like out of the
Mm,
box creative, but like I can't think of like something really cool and amazing to post every single day or like even a couple times a week. So like, um, and I don't think my brain works like as great as like, like a younger TikToker would. Like, you
right,
know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like for me, I can sit in my computer and open up Ableton and like make a track and make music all day or like
right.
mix of something. Like that's what I love to do. And like I think the biggest challenge for me is like is to to do that whole posting like influencer stuff, because it's like I don't really want to do it, but like I know I have to, so I do. But like, like beside like the only thing that's really done well is my covers, and even those it like
Mm,
takes a lot of time, and then we're making an album, so I didn't really have time to do covers. So like I
right.
think keeping up with that is the hardest part, and then your engagement goes down and then you get all depressed and you feel like you suck, and like that's probably
Yeah,
the biggest challenge.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about, you have a couple of tracks on your Spotify that have over, yeah, one has 2 million, one has almost 4 million plays. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like
On
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Those songs, shout out to my boy Pretty Heartbreak.
Mm,
He was kind of like the one that like collaborating with him is kind of what pulled me out of the straight EDM world, like slowly
mm,
into where I'm at now. And like make those if I didn't make music with him, I don't know if I would be here right now, this moment.
right.
Um, so yeah, to say a big shout out to Pretty Heartbreak, who I did those records with.
All right. So you're coining the term future rock, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So like, obviously I've listened to your stuff, and I know how like I think of it, but like how would you exactly define that sound?
Um, I would define it as um a very heavy electronic rock. Um, using like the programming of big like festival EDM
Mm,
music with but supporting an actual rock band with like live
okay.
drums and synths and guitars.
Yeah, I dig that. All right. What's your like main goal right now? Like, what are you working on trying to get accomplished right now?
Um, Now, right at the current moment, it's just to get it on the road. So we just put out our first EP. We're signed to Judge and Jury Records. And right now we don't have management and we don't have a booking agent. So, we're waiting for the right fit for those.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are important decisions to make. But yeah, and the goal is to just get on the road. We built the rehearsal space in my garage, and
Mm,
we rehearse like twice a week, and we've been rehearsing twice a week for like 9 months now, so we're ready. We have our whole in-ear rig already built. We've been doing shows in LA, but
yeah.
we're about to do one in Palm Springs for Halloween. But yeah, I mean,
Nice.
we're ready to go on the road, so we're
Right.
just, now that we have the music out, that's full focus.
Sweet. All right. Yeah. Someone's saying, "Come to Brazil. Come to Brazil."
We definitely will.
All right. I'm gonna run a quick little commercial, and then we'll get back to it.
Cool.
All right. And in case anyone missed it, just a couple days ago, we announced that we are now sponsoring the Chicago band Vias for Villains. Make sure you check them out and follow us and them for all of their updates. Okay, okay. All right. All right. So, one of your one of your recent songs features Jay Gordon of Orgy, right?
Yes.
All right, so how'd you get that connection? Because that's like huge.
Yeah, I mean, I I know a lot of people who know Jay, and I've heard people say great things about him over the years. I hadn't met him yet, but we were in the studio with Mike Potnikoff, who recorded. We recorded all of our record at his studio.
Mm-hmm.
He's Howard Benson's guy. Um, and we were talking about features, and I know Mike knew him, and he came up, and I just was like, yeah, he'd be great for Insatiable. Like that would
Mm-hmm.
be literally like the perfect person to feature on that song. And then we asked him, and he dug it, and then yeah, he came over here to my house, and I recorded him on it, and then like we've been homies ever since. He's super cool. He was
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy.
Was it like a little intimidating at first to work with someone of like his caliber, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's always like a little bit like you're always like a little bit in your head at first. You're like, is this person like, am I like, they're gonna think I'm cool, they're gonna like me, blah blah blah. But I've worked with like a few people that like like that I had heard of before, and like
Mm-hmm.
was really excited about. So like at the it's intimidating, but also like you're going in knowing that they like your music already, so that kind of helps with like
Right.
that's that kind of helps with that feeling.
No, that makes sense. If you were a salad, what dressing would it have?
What dressing would it have?
Yeah, if you were a salad.
Probably like some like supernatural like vinegar, like fruity, like very natural, healthy but still tasty. Where you
All
ate
right.
it and you didn't feel like lethargic after. You're just like, I feel good.
Let's see. In the comments, are saying that Insatiable has more listens than Flowers on Spotify already.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. That's been super awesome about working with Orgy is like they have such a cool fan base, and like the response already on it has been super dope. And yeah, it's been getting pretty good streams out the gate.
All right, everyone in the comments, if anyone has any questions, please ask them because I'm starting to run out of material. All right, Lorena's saying she really likes that question because she's a vegan.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, yeah, we can talk about the album I just finished making with the band.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, like speaking of people, like working with people that are super amazing and dope. We got to do our record with Howard Benson, who's been like a long time idol producer of mine. He's done so many records that I grew up listening to, like big ones like POD Youth of the Nation. That was his first big album. And then like another big one was the All American Rejects Move Along album, one with all the hits. He produced that album. He did like
nice.
Flyleaf, and then like all like My Chemical Romance, the Helena album, and then like just so many. Like then he ended up doing like Daughtry and like Kelly Clark, all the Daughtry's albums and stuff. Like just lots and lots of hits. And working with him, I signed to his label. And just working with him was just like, man, like just learned so much, even outside of music. Like every time I had a, so like the way it works with Howard is we would go and record with Mike, his engineer, who Mike is like, he's kind of more in charge of like the music side and the instruments part. And then Howard's like strongest suit, which I didn't know, is vocals and arranging vocals and like coming up with harmonies and stuff. So we record the music at Mike's, and then I would go by myself to Howard's house and record the vocals there with him and his engineer Hatch, who's also a legend. And man, like I would just sit in Howard's room and like we'd talk about, like I'd get like history lessons, like, and just like we would talk longer than we would like work. And like I just like like the time just flew by there. Like it was always so enriching being just around him. And like learn some really cool musical stuff too. Like we have a song that does like 2 key changes in it on the
Mm,
album called Impossible. And he was just like, yeah, like you should like do you should mess with some like keychains. And he's like showing me like some cool chords, and he's like, if you hold this note over this chord, it becomes
right.
the seventh, and like if you do this key change, it works. And so like I am like a music geek a little bit, so like I took that stuff home, and like it rained like a few days after that
Mm,
conversation. And I love writing when it's raining because like I don't have guilt about staying inside and being on my
right.
computer all day. So yeah, I sat down at the piano in front of the window and just like wrote the chords and like the beginning of the song Impossible that is on our album. And that song changes keys like twice. It's like weird. I've never done anything like that. But he's like, yeah, all like the best songwriters
Mm,
really used to do it. And they even I still hear it now when I listen for it in like pop songs. Like even if it's just like one chord for a second, like
right.
there's always that little part where you're like, oh, it doesn't really make a big difference, but like it kind of does, because
Yeah.
it kind of makes it stand out from being like pure bubblegum to like some like boutique candy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a question. Well, if I fall, have a video.
Yeah, that is one song I do want to do a video for sure. So I'm gonna fight for that to happen. Yeah.
And another question. When will you have merch available?
So we have merch now. We just got it in the last like week or so. We got it just in time for our EP release show. So like
Okay.
last Friday. So now we are just getting the online store set up. But technically we have it. So we can just we can do like side deals already. But we'll have the official store launched in the next probably like week.
All right. Sweet.
Mhm.
All right. Anyone else in the comments got anything else? If not, I think we'll probably wrap this up here pretty soon. Anything else that you wanted to talk about, Ray?
Um
I think we've covered a lot.
yeah, we covered some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Come on, people. Anything else?
Can we see Migo?
Oh yeah. Oh, hi.
He's just watching. That's how he's always been. He's always been the perfect studio dog. Like he just likes to be around.
He doesn't start like barking at you if you pick up your guitar or anything.
Not at all. He just sits and vibes out hardcore.
Kyler asked, "What's your favorite LP song?" Kyler, you mean like off his new LP? Which song? Or
Lincoln Park.
oh, Linkin Park. Right.
I mean, like, I covered what I've done, so I mean that probably means that since I chose that song, it means something to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean that's probably it's hard to pick, but I mean I'd probably say that one since I chose to cover it. I like the lyrics and the energy and
Yeah,
intensity.
definitely.
But I mean, like One Step Closer is also dope as
That is a
shit.
good
So
one.
like, there's a
Are
lot.
you?
And
Are
then
you?
also honorable mention, even
Yep.
though it's a super sad song, One More Light.
Yes.
That one gives me like intense feelings. But
Absolutely.
it's a great song. It's a really good song.
Hey, Steph. Let's see. Are you sick of flowers?
I mean, I don't even think about it anymore. So like, I don't even register it as like a body of work of mine anymore. Like I just I think about our album and that's it. Like when people bring up the covers, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like that's cool. But for me, the covers are just like marketing tactics.
Right.
But like fun ones, like Play with Fire, we got like that's our worst performing song, but like also the most fun one to make and play. And like that one is like so like that's such a remix, like quadruple-fied like version. Like the original song is like almost sounds like it's just like acoustic guitar and like a banjo or something,
Mhm.
and then we made it like a cyberpunk like Metaltron song. So like,
Nice.
but you know, people want the pop hits when it comes to
Yeah.
covers. But you know, we do some of them for, you know, just for fun. Like if I hear something I heard Play with Fire, I was watching Westworld and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
this would be so sick to cover, and like I just did it because I wanted to.
Hey, Kyler, I think you mean the song is Numb. Is that the one you mean?
Yeah, the
That's
LP song.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Numb is great.
Are you thinking of doing more cover songs in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think now that our album is done, I was even having the thought yesterday that I should probably start doing a lot of covers again
Mhm.
recently, just to
Yeah, just to build
bring in
yourself up.
exactly, you
Yeah.
know, like I have no shame. People comment, you know, like haters sometimes will be like, make your own music. I'm like, bro, like we have a 10-song album coming, chill. Like
Any ideas when we might, see that? Or
yeah, so I it's looking like the 10-song album will probably be like right at the beginning of 2024.
okay.
We're gonna do we have some remixes of the Insatiable EP coming out in next month at the beginning of October, and then after that we're gonna release another single or two
Hmm.
at the probably about a release every month, and then I think right at the beginning of 2024 we'll drop the album.
Sweet. So, I'm glad you're still doing like albums because I feel like everyone these days is just dropping like singles and they don't bother with doing full albums. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I know, like it's fun because like I grew up with CDs and like before the
Exactly. Hell, I
streaming.
still go out and buy CDs.
Yeah, and like the label said we're gonna get vinyls of the CD, so it'll be the first time.
Nice.
I've had CDs before, but I've never had vinyls before. So like I'm already excited. Like I want to like buy some and gift them to people, you know what I mean? And just be like, here's like a vinyl of like our album. Like that to
Right.
me is like I'm so excited about that moment of like holding it, giving it to people, like, and then yeah.
Absolutely. All right. If anyone else in the comments has nothing else. Oh, someone wants you to do a cover of Tattoo. TATU.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Check it out, see if any songs resonate. It has to like I have to have like some sort of like
Yeah.
connection to it a little bit. Like even when I did on with Ray Garrison, I did Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift, and like she had another song at the time. Maybe that
Mhm.
was the most popular. I don't know, but I went through her other songs because I was like what song feel like what if I'm gonna sing one of these songs, like what feels like the most like what
Right.
resonates the most with me. And I was like, oh, that one seems kind of cool because she's like kind of villainizing herself, which I like to do to
Mhm.
myself, and like it's like it's clever, so you know I picked that one. But
That's
yeah,
a good question. What was like your first favorite band? Like growing up,
that
what's that? The first one that you're like,
yeah,
that's my favorite band.
Blink
There we
182.
go.
Yeah, I got Enema of
Yeah.
the State like when I was 9 or 10. Got Enema of the State, and I was like, those guitars, man, the guitars sounded so cool. Shout out
Absolutely.
to Jerry Finn, RIP, who produced those great albums, those pop punk albums.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Ray. This was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This is sick.
Absolutely. And
Check
thank
us
you everyone who watched. Definitely had a few more viewers than normal. So thank you very much, everybody.
hell yeah. Check us
Uh,
out at Silos at social media at Silos Band as our account
all
handle.
right. What's this? Okay, someone says, tell us how you met Kendall from Big Time Rush.
Oh, I was working at this recording studio in Malibu called Studio Malibu, and yeah, I did a writing session with him, and yeah, we just became friends, and I ended up going to like his house like all the time, and we made a bunch of music together, and only one song actually came out, but like we have so
Mhm.
many songs like in the vault that
Nice.
never saw the light of day.
All right. If you want to hang out off the air, you're free to stick around. If not, thank you again for joining me, and maybe we'll have you back sometime, help promote your new album.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for having
All
me.
right. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Drop the bass.